Alice in a Winter Wonderland. Dreamily, Alice's eyes fluttered open when a white rabbit scampered by, exclaiming, "I'm late! I'm late!" He hippity-hopped out of sight on the Alaskan glacier. Without thinking twice, Alice popped down the rabbit hole. Plumph! She landed on a great pillow of moss. Alice saw a tiny door that looked out into a hidden world. It seemed a little bit right, but a little bit wrong. "I'm too big to fit," she thought, sobbing. Through her tears, she saw a small jug marked "Drink Me." The nectar tasted of bumblebee honey. All at once she started growing smaller and smaller. What a curious feeling, she marveled. She heard scampering feet and saw the white rabbit dash by. Alice rushed to follow him, but her foot slipped. Splash! Now tiny, she fell into a pool of salt water. The tears she wept when she was so much larger. All kinds of outlandish creatures had fallen into the pool as well. The bedraggled group wanted to warm up. "The best way to get dry would be a foot race," said the great auk. The creatures ran in every direction until they were dry. "The race is over and everyone won," the great auk squawked. To Alice it seemed a little bit right and a little bit wrong. Then off went the creatures toward a tunnel in the glacier. Of course Alice followed along. Coming out the other side, Alice bumbled into a large mushroom. "Who are you?" asked a caterpillar. "I hardly know, sir. Curious things are happening to me, and now I'm the size of a buttercup." The caterpillar sighed. "I can help. One side of my mushroom will make you smaller, and one side will make you taller." Off she marched. A log cabin appeared before her. She nibbled a bit of mushroom until she was just the right size to go visiting. At the doorway, was that a fish bringing a letter to a frog? Alice had to find out. Inside the cabin, the air was filled with clouds of pepper, and objects were flying all around. A goose was holding a sneezing, howling baby, bundled in a blanket. In the midst of it all crouched a large, grinning Smilodon. "Why does your cat smile like that?" Alice asked. "That's not my cat," the goose insisted, plucking the baby into Alice's arms. "I must go play croquet with the queen." "How tossed about everything is," thought Alice, peering into the bundle. She saw a very hairy nose and long prickles. The baby was a porcupine. She took it to a tundra tussock and let it amble away. A loud purr made Alice look up, and she saw the grinning Smilodon again. "Dear cat," she asked, "which way do I go?" The cat grinned even wider. "In one direction lives the old prospector. In the other direction lives the varying hare. Visit either, they are both peculiar." At that the Smilodon disappeared, beginning with the tip of his tail and ending with his grin. Alice came upon an ancient log set for tea. Both the old prospector and the varying hare were there. When they spotted Alice, they sing-songed, "No room, no room." "Nonsense," Alice said pointedly, and she sat down anyway. The tea party made no sense at all. Flapjacks actually flapped, and a sleepy pica squeaked in the teapot. The old prospector and the varying hare moved from seat to seat, talked in riddles, and then bleated out a song. "Completely out of tune," huffed Alice. She rescued the pica and followed tracks in the snow to a waterfall. On the other side, Alice saw playing cards painting cotton grass red. "Why are you painting the fluffy tops?" she asked. "Well, miss," Number 2 whispered. "The queen fancies red cotton grass, and if the croquet ground isn't ready, well, then she will have all our heads cut off." "The queen!" the lookout called, and the playing cards fell flat in the snow to go unnoticed. Alice refused to fall on her face before the king and queen. The queen, glaring at her, shrieked, "Off with her head!" Alice, surprised by her own courage, said, "Nonsense!" At that, the queen asked sweetly, "Can you play croquet, dear?" When Alice nodded, the queen bellowed, "Well, come on!" What a puzzling game, Alice thought. Her croquet mallet was a bird, lemmings rolled into balls, and playing cards posed as wickets. No one waited for turns, and the lemmings unrolled and scurried away. All the while, the queen never left off ordering, "Off with their heads!" The king followed behind, whispering, "You're pardoned." The air started shimmering, and the grinning cat appeared. Alice told him all about the topsy-turvy game, and how she'd had enough of it. She stopped talking when the queen approached. "Have you seen the mock turtle yet?" the queen demanded. When Alice shook her head, the queen yelled, "Come on! Come on!" She herded Alice toward a griffin asleep in the sun. "Up, you lazy thing!" the queen prodded him. "Take this young lady to see the mock turtle and hear his history." The griffin led her to a stony beach. The mock turtle was somewhat like a turtle, and somewhat something else. From what Alice could gather, the mock turtle and the griffin were old school chums, and they went on about their schooling, which had been held at the bottom of the sea. They laughed and cried as they talked about studying reeling and writhing, arithmetic and mystery, and oceanography and drawing. Alice stood there puzzled and thought, "It sounds almost right and not exactly wrong." Alice was very relieved when the mock turtle changed his tune, trilling, "Do you have any idea what a crustacean quadrille is?" Alice did not, so the mock turtle and the griffin acted out the dance by capering wildly, bounding in the air and singing, "Advance twice and throw those sculpins out to sea." Then, waving to mark the time, they crooned, "Will you come and join the dance? Will you, won't you join the dance? Will you, won't you join the dance?" Suddenly, "The trial's beginning!" boomed across the tundra. The griffin shouted, "Come on! Come on!" They ran until they arrived at an old tower. Inside, they found the king and queen with a familiar crowd before them. The room looked like a court of justice, and the white rabbit led the proceedings. "Here we have not refreshments, but the evidence. These tarts were stolen," he proclaimed. The jury gasped and wrote "stolen tarts" on their slates. Alice watched witness after witness be called, all so nervous they could hardly squeak. Suddenly, the foghorn blasted, "Roomp," and the white rabbit called out, "Alice!" Alice popped out of her seat. She had the strange sensation that she was too large for the room. "This is getting curiouser and curiouser," she thought. As she maneuvered toward the witness box, she couldn't help but knock into the jurors, saying, "Terribly sorry," and "Beg your pardon," as she went. The king took off, hooting, "Order in the court," and "All persons over a mile high must vacate the court at once," and then, looking right at Alice, "Just go away." Alice refused to be bossed around and bullied that way. "Stuff and nonsense," she retorted. As expected, the queen roared, "Off with her head!" to which Alice parried back, "We'll see about that." The white rabbit blew his foghorn again and proclaimed, "We have new evidence." He read, "The knave of hearts, he stole the tarts and carried them through the sway. The queen of hearts, she spied the tarts and hid them all away. The king of hearts, he found the tarts and brought them here today. Let's eat the tarts, forget the rest, and say to all fair play." Now Alice had grown to her full size. The queen kept roaring, "Off with her head!" and everyone in the courtroom began scrambling around her. Alice laughed and waved her arms. "You're nothing but a pack of cards." Alice startled awake to find a breeze blowing and her sisters playing cards fluttering around her. Their new puppy was yipping at the cards and scared a rabbit that darted by. Was it the same rabbit she had seen before? Alice shrugged and rubbed her eyes, puzzling over everything she had seen. It all seemed a little bit right and a little bit wrong, but it was certainly wonderful. Then she and her sister climbed into their sledge and headed home with their puppy.